Welcome to Facing the Nation for February 9th, 2024. Today is going to be a good day. There's so much happening. There's a lot to talk about today. And of course, as we start the program, I want to remind you, call up a friend, call up a neighbor, tell them Facing the Nation is on. So you can view us on the People's National Congress Reform page on Facebook, the APNU AFC page on Facebook, and the People's National Congress Reform page on YouTube. And of course, if you're looking at the local channel, you can also find us on Channel 6. So come on, share the live, get a friend on today. We're going to start off banging. There is a lot happening. The biggest thing we're talking about right now, of course, is the teacher strike. GTU would have called that strike, and the strike would have begun on Monday. And what we have been seeing is every single day, the protest lines are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to start off my program today with talking with someone who is no stranger to social media, no stranger to talking on teachers' issues, politics, all around. But today I want her to speak to us. And, a teacher serving for so many years in the system, a former member of parliament as well. And, she never neglects the protest line when it is needed. Today, by the phone, we will hear from Miss Vanessa Kithoon. Welcome, Miss Vanessa Kithoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. I'm just off the protest line. As you know, we continue. This is day. Let me first say a special good afternoon to your listening and viewing audience. It's good to be on with you guys today and to give you an update on what is happening, especially in Linden and region number 10. Mm-hmm. So as you know, we continue to, we will be continuing our actions next week, but we would have completed 5 days, today being day 5. And of course, the government, we thought would have by today allow good sense to prevail. Mm-hmm. However, one person know that teachers are out here because this is not just this year or this month. We have been asking for collective bargaining, and I have to meet with the government of the day. And of course, you know that teachers are always being treated in a manner that is very unprofessional, and so teachers have decided that enough is enough, and we're going to continue our action because we have issues concerning salaries, we have non-salary issues, we want to talk about duty-free concession, different things we have on the table that we would like to discuss with the government, and we would like the government to respect us, that we have a union, the Guyana Teachers Union, and we want them to meet with the union, not call a few teachers to some function or meeting or activity and have teachers speak on our behalf. We would like our union to speak on our behalf. And so this time around, we will not sit down, we will not return until, because like I said earlier, I remember in 2018, and it's funny when persons are on the opposition side, they ought to know, or they always know what's there. Right. And the same government, when they were in opposition, they said that we we should be glad that the government, going collective bargaining and about themselves said that, teachers should ask for 50%
50%.
increase and remember if and Ali saying that, what about the teachers, what about the nurses, the police officers, they're important. And I want to ask them this question. We're here in 2024. Aren't we important anymore? Aren't teachers important anymore, President Ali? When you were in opposition, you knew what teachers deserve, but now he's president, he just suddenly forget. This is the type of thing that really, for me, and in my layman terms, annoys me. It is that all of a sudden we are no longer important. We are no longer seen as important in your eyes or your views. And we all know you live in this country, Shanieka. You understand what is happening in this country. And you recognize that we lived 5. I'm not a mathematician, so I'm not going to give calculations as whatever, but you and I know and what we have to go through. I can tell you, parents, simple. Sometimes you have to assist your children with and assignments. You have to do printing for SDAs and all of that. We don't have free ink and free printers and all that. As parents at home that we can assist out, we have to pay for these things. And so we're asking for basic things, like for example, we are asking for an across the board increase in salary of 20% for 2019. Okay, we're asking for 25% for each odd year, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. In 2018, Barack said we should ask for 50%. We're not asking for 50%. We're asking for 20 and 25. So why is it now you can't, stick to what you were asking for 50? We're saying, okay, we're going to start at 20 and 25. But you seem to forget. All of a sudden, he got amnesia. The whole cabinet, seemed to forget. The other issue I want to say to us is that you're hearing that, teachers are behaving unprofessional and we're calling people names, yet still the minister is on live, for instance, live and saying that let the teachers go and drink shell gas and let the teachers go and sleep. How more disrespectful these people can get. And then you're telling us you have ministers and you have other government officials in the parliament disrespecting our female members of parliament and all of these things. And people are just trying to use, but we're not going to be distracted. I know that today they came up to Linden and I guess in other regions they went to distribute grants, but the schools cash grants. But what I know is that I heard that they had auditors helping to deal with that. And of course, you may have a few HMs and other teachers who might have gone, that left in charge of the schools to uplift those grants. But we're outside. We're continuing our action on Monday, and we're calling on teachers. We're calling on all teachers. This is not just because this has nothing to do with which party, political party you're affiliated with. This has to do with bread and butter issues. This has to do with the welfare of teachers. It has to do with the welfare of our students. And so, most recently in Linden, we had flea infestation in our schools. Little children, the nursery and primary school children, I think primary, if you see their skin, when these things, they got bite up by these fleas, and I have photographs I can send for you to see. Yeah. All right. We had issues with a teacher who fell down at my school and her 2 hands are in cast. She can't do anything for herself. These are real issues. We don't make these things up, or we didn't make these things up. So we have real issues, and we're asking that good sense prevail on behalf of the government. We're asking that they allow good sense to prevail, and let us have collective bargaining.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, Vanessa Kitsoon, there is a video where the current Minister of Education would have said in essence when she talked, of course we saw over the weekend this attempt on a media parade where they have been posting all kinds of things on the Ministry of Education page, trying to paint a picture as teachers are, ungrateful, etc. But she went as far as to say in one of her videos that teachers who are receiving, by the way, the money for the supplies for students in class, that she says that she knows that the teachers are getting a lot of that money is going back into their pockets. In my view, suggesting then that the teachers are stealing this money, although we know that there are procedures in place for you to ensure that the every item purchased you have to bring in your receipts for, etc. It probably doesn't even cater for transportation for these teachers to carry these things back and forth. What do you have to say about that?
Well, this is what I said to you earlier about the disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as if the government officials like Gail Bashir and others who run to the media quickly to always complain and cry about teachers being disrespectful in what they're saying about ministers and officials and all of that, that they seem to miss these very important statements or these very derogatory statements that are being meted out by their own ministers. I am not a class teacher. I don't receive the grants. I don't have to go shopping. But if I were, or if I was, for me, I think teachers should take the minister to court.
Yeah.
Because here it is, I have to produce all these receipts. I have to ensure that, every cent that I spent is accounted for. There's no snap money in it. I don't know, since when teachers became procurement officers, and teachers, and that's the thing, you want teachers to share cash grants. You want teachers to spend this money, that I'm talking about the cash grant for the students.
Yes.
Then you want teachers to spend this, how much 120 or how much thousand, 100 or how much thousand, this cash grant for classrooms and improvement. And they have to produce all these things. But there's nothing there for the teacher at the end of the day. But yet still you're going to accuse the teachers of stealing.
Yeah. I think we just lost Vanessa there, but we were taught, she was explaining to us basically that statement coming out from Priya Manchan, where she basically said that teachers are permitted to steal the money. In my view, what I believe that you will be saying to persons when you say something like that is that you know the ways to thief the money. You're telling people, we steal the money.
I got lungs off the
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. You're back on. You can go ahead.
Yes. So as I was saying, and here it is. We are marking SBAs. We are going the extra mile in other countries. Teachers are being paid for marking SBAs and all these things. But yes, we are doing it, and we're doing it out of good heart. And people are out there bombarding us while we have government officials, saying all sorts of derogatory things and statements about teachers and about other, whether it's members of parliament and so on. And people don't see that as anything bad. But since you say something about Priya or any minister or thing, you're suddenly a bad person or you're suddenly unprofessional. Well, I really have a problem with that, because for me, if you're going to say teachers don't do this, you have to reprimand the minister and the officials or government ministers when they do it also. There it is. We have a minister who was accused of raping a young girl, is out there trying to bombard teachers and bombard members of parliament when all evidence showed and we know what happened with that matter, and you're out there trying to do what? So I have issues with those things. But like we're saying, we're going to continue, we're going to hold strain, and we're going to ensure that the government, and let me say what will happen. When teachers continue like this, it is the parents, because I'm a parent too, and I will have to come out and speak as a parent. I have a grade 8 student and a grade 10 student. you know. So I am feeling it too, because my grade 10 student is son is preparing soon to be writing C-Sec, and he's out of school. You know, he can go to school and be taught and all that. And teachers have children too. We need to stop this thing about teachers, and teachers also are parents. Many of the teachers on the strike line, you will be surprised to know some teachers got 2, 3, 4 children in schools. So let us not try to make it look as if teachers are uncaring. We know the government will come with things like that as a distraction. And of course, they will attract those persons who are affiliated with them. And, maybe because I was told, so this is hearsay if you want to say that. But those persons who are doing videos, teachers and so that are doing videos, giving the government praise. And so we were told today that those persons are collecting 250,000. Like I said, I was told that.
Yes, it is alleged. I would have heard the same thing. It is alleged that they're being paid.
Yes, it's alleged that they're being paid to receive that. And you can imagine, let's just say that is true. And when the strike action is over and teachers get the benefits or get what they're asking for, those same teachers will be benefiting also. So they'll be benefiting 2 times if, as is alleged, if it's true that this is the type of things we're dealing with. But we're still on, I must let you know. And, for some persons also, I want to clear the air that are saying, once they see people like Coretta McDonald is a teacher. I am a teacher, Melissa Kisoon, former member of parliament. This is not, they would like to say, since they see certain people, it's about politics. No, it's not about politics. And I want to remind people that in 2018
you were on the floor and Coretta
I was
McDonald.
on the front line. Exactly. And I'm a teacher by profession. And we are not afraid to speak with the power. So it matters not who is in government. Once we have issues and we believe we are not being heard, we will do what we have to do. So let them not forget and pretend as if they don't remember these things, and to try to accuse us and to try to distract teachers or come with or try to intimidate us. We will not allow it, we will not accept it, and we will not stand for it. But long live the Guyana Teachers Union, and long live the Upper Demerara branch. And I must say I'm also the General Council rep for the Upper Demerara branch.
Very good, very good. All right. I want to thank you very much for joining us today. Of course, we have to do a better catch up on other issues as well. But I want to encourage you and your teachers in your district to continue to push. And you know what I'm hoping for, Ms. Kisoon? That the public servants will see this and see the way you guys are being treated and how disrespectful the government is continuing to be in this issue and join you. That is what I'm hoping for next week. I am hoping that public servants will step out and join the teachers in this struggle, because the truth is we are no longer in 2018. The nurses, the public servants, well, we know by law the police and the soldiers may not be able to do certain things. But, for those of us who can, we should come out and strengthen this, because we cannot continue the same rhetoric. The only set of people who are inconsistent here currently is the PVPC government, because when you were in opposition, you said one thing. And now you're in power in an oil-rich country, because you are against the largest budget ever, $1.146 trillion, and do not cater for the engine of your government. Right.
Exactly. So, teachers, small nation. We moved the nation. Every profession came out of teachers, lecturers at whichever level. primary, nursery, primary, secondary, even daycare now we starting. Children, babies are learning even all at the daycare centers and so on. So let's not teachers are out there and we're out there. It's a just cause.
I'm looking at a poster here. This was, I think, Culture News on the 5th of October 2018, where Jack Dio told President Granger to stop being a ceremonial president and solve the teachers' problems. And I think that should be the message to this government. Stop being, and in this case, not ceremonial, but friends, families, and favorite, and serve the teachers and solve their problems and serve the public servants. That's the call that we have to continue to make. Before you go off, I know you have a meeting. Is there anything else you want to share with us before you go?
Well, just to say that and to encourage my colleagues, teachers all across Guyana, let us not be intimidated. Let us not be fearful. Remember, this is not about an affiliation to any party or any organization. It's about teachers. It's about the Guyana Teachers Union and teachers. It's about teachers' issues, teachers' welfare, and let us come out and join. Let us not be intimidated. I also want to say, as you would know, I know you're asking me about teachers matter, but we also have, and that will take another forum, the credit union matter that is happening. I don't know if you are following, but we have issues with our credit union, and to let persons know that they will be soon updated over this weekend about the way forward concerning the credit union. And I also want to say in closing to all the listening, your listening viewers or those who are watching, because I think you're also doing a live program. Not to forget, this year, I'm here in Linden. We have our Linden Town Week coming up and it begins on the 26th of April to the 6th of May, 2024. And don't forget our team. We're one people, one nation, one destiny. Linden, the heart of Guyana. So come down to Linden in April and let's celebrate together. So thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Shanieka. I hope to have you on the program before that timing so that we can delve into a bit more issues. So we'll make an appointment.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, viewers, we were talking to Miss Vanessa Kithoon, who is a teacher, former member of parliament, and she was giving her views on the issues. And of course, Region 10, as always, they're part of wherever the need is to stand up for their rights. And of course, herself and other teachers in Region 10 have been protesting, have been calling for the government to take heed and deliver what is necessary for all teachers in this country. So we were just listening to Miss Vanessa Kithoon. Staying on the same issue, I have a few more videos to show. I know many of you, of course, you're aware of what is happening in the heart of Georgetown, but I want to, as well at this time, give you a glimpse of what is happening elsewhere. And in region number 2, there is a lot happening there as well in terms of protest. I want to pull up a few videos and give you a view of what is happening in region number 2, which, the PPP calls one of their stronghold, and show you what the teachers in that region, how they feel and what they're talking about as they are also in day number 5 of this protest action.
Get on board with our union leaders and have discussions and make decisions that will benefit the lives of teachers. Teachers' lives matter as well. And so This is Brother Fenta coming to you live from Anna Regina in Region 2. It is day 5. It's day 5 of the industrial action called for by the Guyana Teachers Union. And so, if you look carefully, you can see that teachers are out in their numbers. Teachers realize that their lives matter. Government need to get on board and negotiate with teachers, negotiate with our leaders, negotiate with our leaders. Teachers need better salaries. I can I can attest to you that this is not a political strike. This strike here is not a political strike. Teachers know that their lives matter, and as such, they are out in their numbers today to support this industrial action called for by the Guyana Teachers Union. It's day 5 of the strike action here in Region 2. Teachers will continue to come out on Monday. Why? We need a raise of pay. But I ain't coming to work today. Why? We need a raise of pay. But I ain't coming to work today. Why? We need a raise of pay. But I ain't coming to work today. Why? We need a raise of pay. But I ain't coming to work today. Why? We need a raise of pay. This morning, we were locked out from the compound of the Department of Education. When we got here this morning, the officers from the Guyana Police Force locked the gate. And when we requested what was the reason, they could not give us any valid reason as to why they locked the gates. However, all they kept saying is that they were ordered by higher authorities to lock the teachers out from the compound of the Department of Education. And so we have assembled at a new location here. It's given full to the Gatwick Union branch people here to use this plot of land. And so we have erected 2 tents this morning. If you look around, you can see teachers are out in their numbers today. They're not going to give up. We're not going to give up this fight until government bargains with us. And if you listen very carefully, I'm so hoarse. I'm not in the best of health, but I've got to come out and support my colleagues here. Being in the sun for the past 5 days, I've developed a serious flu, but I'm still out here. Thank God for the little strength that He gave me. And so I'm going to just turn the camera around so that you can have the entrance of the Department of Education. You can see police officers standing at the gates there. I'm going to just zoom up the camera a little so that you can see the 2 police officers at the entrance of the Department of Education. We were locked out this morning.
And there you have it. This is what you have been looking at and what you're still looking at on the screen there is region number 2. I want people to understand why prayer they sit and they make all these posts on social media about them talking to a few teachers and how everybody's so satisfied. When you see these videos coming out of a region that they claim to hold so dearly, you must understand that this is not political. Bread and butter issues are not political, because when you look at what is happening in region 2, and let me tell you, from day number 1 to now day number 5, because the clips that you are just looking at is day number 5, and the protest is intensifying. More and more teachers are coming out because they're realizing that the government is intent on disrespecting them. And now you have what I believe at this point in terms of region 2 carrying the largest protest. That is what we're seeing here. Region 2 is literally at this point carrying the largest protest in this country when it comes to this strike, because this goes against everything. This has nothing to do at this point, the way the government teaching are treating teachers has nothing to do with race or creed. This has to do with the wickedness of a government who is comfortable telling people that we are living in the fastest growing economy in the world, but yet our teachers have to take to the street to beg for increases, while the sitting minister calls teachers thieves in her own way, while she said that, they're not budging, they're not doing anything. And all of this is happening while our children in many of the areas across the country are at home. They're not being schooled because teachers are on the street. And while they have their pages, the Ministry of Education page is working overtime to take a little clip with a classroom in a whole school, one classroom that has just a few children to tell us, oh, school is happening, when the parents and those very teachers know that those schools are closed. And as this protest has continued throughout this week, it has gotten worse. And this government who went to the Parliament of Guyana last Friday, 1 week now, into the evening after passing the budget, and remove the safeguards and the rails to protect our money and to keep saving for future generations of this country, went to ensure that they can take out monies at their will, however they choose to, so that they can spend money on infrastructure and they can do whatever they want wherever. They have our teachers in the street. This government should be ashamed. Yes, they should be ashamed. You spent 2 weeks in Parliament and tell us lovely things about how great the economy is and we have 2% inflation and all is well, but people cannot afford to buy regular stuff at the market. People can't afford to buy rice the way they used to buy rice. They can't afford to buy plantain. Yesterday I went to a shop, 2 pounds of plantain, $600. And you are telling teachers that you can't afford to raise their salaries while we are benefiting currently from the oil wealth. When the war in Ukraine that has been happening would have caused oil prices to increase. And as we sell, we're getting more than we would have catered for or expected. But yet still the government of Guyana, headed by Ifernali, who wants to tell us, along with Priya Manchan, that they care about Guyanese people and they care about the children of this country. They sit there and refuse to dialogue to bring this protest to an end. They refused to bargain with the union. They went as far as to tell the union that they will now be withholding the dues that teachers would have signed to say, take this out of our salary and hand it over to our union. You are now sending memos out to tell teachers that you will no longer be paying the union their dues. This is the kind of government that we have in this country, who seems to want to put this country in a battle that we are not looking for, because you cannot continue to treat people the way you are treating them and expect that the place will remain the same. This is what you are doing to teachers currently, and you're telling us that you care. The minister, as the protest was happening yesterday, we saw some of the lives happening there. As the protest is happening, the minister is installing cameras in the front of the building. We can only assume so that they can probably identify everybody who is going out there, so they can choose to victimize them when they wish. We cannot go on like this in this country. And I think we're reaching to a place where public servants will have to decide their fate as well, because they are punishing and suffering in an oil-rich country as the government decides that I will only give you 6.5%. While the same government in opposition without oil money, when the government that they were talking to did not have a drop of money yet from the oil economy, they were telling them that they need to raise the public servant money by 50%. By 50%. And they even, as I said earlier, I wonder if my operator has that photo up, where Jack Dio said that, let me just pull it up here quickly. Jack Dio told persons it was the 5th of August 2018. He told President Granger he must stop being a ceremonial president and solve the teachers' problems. And here he is on the 8th of February 2024, telling this nation, as he sits down as the General Secretary of the PPPC, and says to this nation, the government cannot afford to pay teachers more. But you sat and told us you just passed the largest budget, $1.146 trillion. And with all of the waste we are seeing in infrastructure, you cannot pay the teachers and the public servants and the police and the nurses and the soldiers, the engine of a country. You cannot pay them more. How much more do we need to see from this government to understand that they only care about themselves? We are faced today in this nation with a government who they're only willing to give out a few petty dollars to a few people who are willing to do whatever they want them to do. Otherwise than that, you're not getting anything. I believe that as Guyanese, we should stand up together and say enough is enough. This is the time the nurses, by next week, the nurses and the public servants should join the protest. And parents should join the protest too. Because our children who have to write common entrance shortly, I have a child writing common entrance, I have a child writing CXC. When they're at home during this period, and the government who says they care is refusing to take action blatantly and making all sorts of statements in the public, then Guyanese, we have a problem. We have a serious problem on hand. This government should be taught a lesson come Monday. They should be taught a lesson come Monday when public servants and nurses and parents join the struggle of the teachers, because we cannot continue like this. I want to show a clip in of the gentleman who usually does the live in region number 2, where he is reporting that he is no longer able to go live from his page. It is being blocked because they don't want Guyanese to see the truth. Because as they stand there and say, oh, it is political, they don't want persons to see what is happening in Region 2. That all teachers are saying the same thing. That when you go to the interior regions, the Amerindian teachers, the East Indian teachers, the Black teachers are all on strike because they're being punished by this government. Let's take a listen.
If there's any signal jamming occurring, and I still can't get any connection. So if you're looking at this, I hope you're taking this as motivation. They don't want people to see. Come out and join the protest. Can't go live from my personal page and my business page. I drove up the road to see if there's any signal jamming occurring, and I still can't get any connection. So if you're looking at this, I hope you're taking this as motivation. They don't want people to see. Come out and join the protest. Can't go live from my personal page and my business page. I drove up the road to see if there's any signal jamming occurring, and I still can't get any connection. So if you're looking at this, I hope you're taking this as motivation. They don't want people to see.
Yes, so that was Mr. Martin Samaru, a teacher in Region 2, who has been doing all the live coverage in Region 2 to show the world what is happening. And what he is saying there now is that today, day 5, he no longer can go live on his personal page, his business page. So any page basically that is connected to him, he cannot go live with it. You know why? Because the government of Guyana does not want people to see that the issues being faced by teachers, being faced by public servants, I will say at this moment, that it is not political, but it's a bread and butter matter, because persons are suffering and punishing in an economy that is deemed the richest. That is what they don't want you to see. Hence, they're doing the things that they're doing. And I'm saying to us, this is my plea today to public servants, to nurses, to parents. It is time that we stand up to this government as the teachers are doing what they have to do and are continuing to push. It is our time to come and help them in this push so that we can go ahead and this country and the citizens of this country and the engine of the very government can be taken care of in this country. I want to pull up the video for, I believe, this today as well. This is in front of the Ministry of Labor. Teachers would have took to the front of the Ministry of Labor today to make their plea as well, because this is another ministry that has been doing absolutely nothing. And they have been not working with, this is a ministry that should be there to secure and help workers all across the board, whether it be private sector, public sector, to be comfortable and to be in an environment that is proper and conducive. But this is another ministry that has responsibility, that has not, they're not doing anything. We saw the Minister of Labor sit in Parliament and probably about his last 5 minutes in Parliament is when he decided to talk about his ministry, anything about his ministry. Because guess what? They have nothing to say because they're doing nothing for the people. They are doing absolutely nothing for the people of Guyana. While you have so many people still underpaid, etc., the ministry is doing no work. They are doing no work. And I believe that it is time Guyanese say enough is enough. That this government has made it very, very clear in its entire operation from before the protest to the period of this protest. We have seen nothing but disrespect from the government of Guyana. And it is time that workers stop being afraid to come out and stand up for their rights. We have to learn as a people that we stand up and hold one head. You know, if we come together, this government cannot continue the way that they're going. If we decide as citizens that enough is enough, there is nothing a government can do to stop the change from happening. Every week on this program, I tell you, the citizens of our country has the responsibility to hold a government accountable. And these actions that we're seeing, and the actions of persons coming out and speaking up and sharing issues on social, whether it be on social media or calling up the relevant people to share issues so that they can share it even if it's anonymously, is a part of you holding a government accountable. And this is what we ought to be doing. We ought to be holding the government accountable. We can talk all day. The politicians have their job to do. But if you have 30 parliamentary representatives, they can't change the whole country. It is when the people stand together that we're able to change the motion and the operation of a government who is bent on punishing the ordinary people in the country. It is us, the people of a country, who are responsible. We are responsible for holding the government accountable. And I must applaud the teachers. I must applaud their bravery in region 1, in region 2, in region 3, in region 4, in region 5, in region 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Our teachers are showing us how it can be done. Because at some time, you must decide to speak up for your rights as citizens. So while we do what we must, there comes a time where we have to stand together. And it is my hope that come Monday, we see the nurses on the picket line, we see the public servants on the picket line, and then we will be talking. Then we can say power to the people. Then we can say that we are holding a government accountable for their actions. But Guyanese, it is our responsibility and it is our choice to do it. And if we don't decide to do it, then they will continue to treat us the way that they're treating us. And at the end of this process, whenever it is over, whenever the matters that are being put forward are addressed, Guyanese must not forget what the government has been doing. Guyanese must not forget the weight that we're sitting and seeing in this country every day. Every day you can see a road that needs nothing done to it being dug up and redone, simply because the government decides that their friends, family, and cronies must have a piece of the money. But the public servants, the teachers, the nurses, the police officers, and the soldiers don't have an option. They can take whatever they say, but they can come up with any project and just give it. Yesterday on the People's National, on the opposition press conference, They spoke about the $7 billion that was handed into one contractor's hand over the last 3 years, and he has not turned one piece of earth for the money that he was given or the project that he was given. 7 billion Guyana dollars. Do you know what 7 billion Guyana dollars can do? If we put that in to paying public servants, he hasn't done a single job. But over the last 3 years, he would have received $7 billion from the government and from Barrett Jagdeo, who is saying that they can't afford to pay teachers more. That is what we are seeing. And I'm saying that when the time comes, when the next election comes, Guyanese have to come out resoundingly and put a change. We have to get rid of a government who is blatantly showing us they care nothing about the people of this country. We have to understand that that is our responsibility, and we have to ensure that we safeguard our votes, we protect our votes, and ensure that our votes are counted and counted correctly. Because if Guyanese continue, if we take this for another 3 years, for another 4 years, as a people, we will become extremely poor, while 1% of people flourish and flaunt their wealth in front of us. Because Priya was so insensitive, walking past the teachers protesting, not saying nothing, and she's going around to schools and doing whatever, and she's feeling lovely with a Louis Vuitton bag that cost over 600,000 Guyana dollars. That's how shameless the government is. That's how shameless the people who come to tell you a few every now and again when they bring a piece of something for you or a little hamper for you, they tell you that they care. That is how shameless they are. And it's time as a nation that we deal with the issues as they come and we put the government in check. I see the viewers talking about the Bamia Primary School. This is another project. Millions of dollars put into a project given to persons who knew nothing about construction. And today they're unable to complete it. And we hear in the start of this year that they will be giving them more money to try and finish that building. And they're saying now that they will have to subcontract it out. This is what we're talking about. While they're saying to public servants, teachers, nurses, policemen, and women, the people who they have protecting them and using them like they're using them in Region 2 to ensure that the teachers don't go around the department education there, that they cannot pay you more. We're seeing in the budget, in the estimate questioning that when many line items, we're seeing that security has been increased in many ministries, sometimes from $8 million to $28 million. And when the questions are asked, they're moved from baton security to armed security. When asked what is the rate of pay for a security officer by this amount, it amounts to over $1,000 and something an hour. And I know Guyanese know that there is no security officer in this country that is paid $1,000 per hour. The highest paid security in this country, as far as I know, is $250 Guyana dollars an hour. But these things are sitting in the budget while the government is telling teachers and public servants and nurses and police and soldiers that they can't afford to raise their pay. That is what we're dealing with. You know, the time is never enough on Facing the Nation. I'm basically out of time. But I hope that you understand and we are seeing what is happening, and more so the operation of the government this week in the way they would have treated teachers and the way they're continuing to treat the nation's teachers. The same set of people who are responsible for every last one of them. If any of them are educated, because we know some of them have questionable, their education status is questionable. But even if they went to primary school only and secondary school only, it was a teacher who had to teach them. And to show this level of disrespect to the teachers of this nation is unacceptable. Viewers, I want to close off today's program by telling you and reinforcing to you that as a people, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to hold our government accountable. And I'm saying to Guyanese, it is time we hold this government accountable for their actions, accountable for the level of disrespect that we have seen in this week. And we should support our teachers. As parents, we should come out and support our teachers. As public servants, you should join the teachers and call for your increase. As nurses, you should come out and join the teachers and call for your increase. Because no longer is it acceptable that you must live like peasants in an economy that is one of the fastest growing, not in the Caribbean, not in South America, but in the world. Viewers, today as I close, I hope that we understand what is happening and that we support our brothers and our sisters in this struggle today, and we do what is necessary. Do bear in mind all our platforms, we will be keeping a check on all that is happening in all of the different regions in regards to this protest. And, you know, I hope to see you guys out there come next week, and let's put some more pressure on this government until they get it right. Viewers, be sure to join me next week from 12:30 to 1:30 again as we continue our discussions on the issues as they arise. I want to thank you for viewing us today. Do have a wonderful afternoon.
And all the perks, and we're the ones who are suffering, Andrew. And you're telling me that they're saying that they don't have money to pay. Look, Andrew, let me remain a teacher out here, right? It's a sin. But some people in fear God, but they're gonna fear me. We is the fastest growing economy in the world. All of my friends them through the Caribbean calling me, say, what nonsense is that man speaking? He abuse out, man. Y'all ain't got money, but every minute they're going on a trip to Dubai. Every minute going there, they're going here, they're going there.
And they come up for supplementary as well.
You understand me? And teachers suffering, public servants suffering. Look, Andrew, my only concern is my 6 farmers. I love them. I love them. And I am hurting that I'm not in the classroom. But you gotta stand up somehow, some way. And we gotta show this wicked government that this is not politics. And they want to make it out to be politics. It's not politics. It's all about us standing up for what is rightfully ours. We marking SBAs, we marking IAs, we in the classroom, we working with them, we doctors, we nurses, we lawyers, we everything. And oh gosh, you're telling me that they could have can at least come to the bargaining table, even if it's halfway. Appease teachers a little bit, but the disrespect is too much. So we're gonna stay out here.
Good, that's William Niles there, teacher by profession.